It's Monday, October 21st, right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Bianca Bono at TPC Scottsdale, where big changes were just announced for the upcoming WM Phoenix Open. We'll tell you what they are coming up.
Temperature is heating up again this week. It's possible we hit the century mark again and set brand new records.
It's that time of year when campaign signs line the streets and One Valley Yard is loaded with them. But these aren't the typical signs that you've seen in 2024.
The Arizona Cardinals get a huge win on Monday Night Football tonight. We are live at State Farm Stadium.
12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
We begin tonight with what's known as the greatest show on grass, the WM Phoenix Open. One of the biggest Valley sporting events every single year, but there could be some improvements coming to that tournament next year.
Yeah, it comes after players and fans called for change, describing this past year's tournament as chaotic. Rainy and muddy conditions led to bottlenecks and overcrowding, and tournament officials are looking to avoid a repeat of this year's February mess. Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Caribe Divine.
I'm Troy Hayden. Mark's off tonight. You might remember those safety concerns forced tournament officials to close the gates and stop alcohol sales on the Saturday of this last year's tournament.
That's right. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono talked with tournament officials at TPC Scottsdale to learn more about the changes that are already in the works.
Tournament leaders took complaints seriously and have been meeting on a weekly basis to come up with changes. Now, with construction already underway for next year's tournament, they're ready to roll them out.
We're focused on being better, not bigger.
Better, not bigger is the theme for the upcoming WM Phoenix Open.
Our focus has really been on how do we make this a better experience for the players and how do we make it a better experience for the fans.
Matt Mooney is the 2025 tournament chairman, and that focus on improvement started the second the last putt dropped in February, when the golf tournament, known for its enthusiastic fans, became out of control.
It was great until they quit serving us beer at noon. Oh! No, we're not letting people in anymore.
On Saturday of this year's tournament, overcrowding and bottlenecks, forcing the Unified Command staff to close down the entrance and halt alcohol sales. Now, officials are announcing changes in hopes of preventing that from happening again. The first two, expanded walkways and an additional entrance to the course near the tee box on the 18th hole.
We feel like that's going to really alleviate a lot of the challenges that we've encountered on those peak times.
In response to golfers expressing frustration with rowdy fans, the course is adding elevated walkways and bridges, a barrier for the players. And there are ticketing changes. They'll now be digital, an effort to expedite entry. And for the first time in 3 years, Friday and Saturday tickets will increase in price to $125. The tournament is also doing away with general admission any day tickets, meaning moving forward, fans will choose which day to attend when they purchase.
We think that's, while it sounds like a simple change, actually really impactful.
Captain Dave Folio of the Scottsdale Fire Department has been working with tournament leaders since February.
People literally have been meeting every Tuesday and Wednesday to figure this out.
He's in strong support of these improvements and believes first responders will now have a better sense of just how many people to expect each day.
It's all about public safety, the fan experience, giving them a great venue to come out to. They feel like they're safe.
As construction for the 90th edition of the People's Open is now underway, officials say the days of shattering attendance records are in the past. A focus on better, not bigger.
We just have so much demand for the tournament that we're really having to focus on what our max capacity is for a given day, and then how do we really continue to elevate the fan experience for those fans that are there on a given day. And we feel like if we can do that, it'll continue to drive success as we move the event forward.
The first practice round of the WM Phoenix Open is just over 100 days away. We're at TPC Scottsdale. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Thank you, Bianca. The Cardinals get a big win on Monday Night Football tonight. That's kicker Chad Ryland hitting the game-winning field goal, the second time he's done that in 3 weeks. Time expiring, 17-15 win over the LA Chargers. So it moves the Cardinals to 3-4. Cam Cox is at State Farm Stadium hearing from the team right now. And coming up in just a bit, he will join us live with a full recap, and we'll hear from reaction. We'll have all the coaches' reaction, players' reaction from tonight's big win. Meteorologist Lindsay Riley has your weather impact forecast, and a great weekend, but now Turning the heat back up, right?
Yeah, we're going right back to summer this week. Highs are going to be close to 100 degrees later on in the week. We are talking more record highs. We had 2 days in the 70s, 1 day in the 80s on Sunday, and now today up to 90 degrees. That's 3 degrees above the average, and temperatures will continue to climb over the next few days. Wednesday to Sunday, though, those are going to be the hottest days. Our best chance to set new records here in Phoenix will be on Friday and Saturday. Friday beats the record of 96 set back in 2014 by 2 degrees, and on Saturday at 98 degrees we tie a record, but we will be within striking distance for the second half of the week. Tomorrow we're going to hit about 95, so it will be warmer than today. Nonetheless, temperatures still starting off relatively comfortable early in the day. We'll start off in the 60s. Even at 9 a.m. it's 73. We don't cross the 90-degree mark until between 1 and 2 p.m. and then highs around 95. That'll happen between 3 and 5. Notice the afternoon will be a bit sunnier tomorrow compared to the morning. Caribe?
All right, Lindsay, thank you. We want to get you to some breaking news happening out of Tucson, where 5 people are dead after a head-on crash on the southwest side of the city. Details remain limited right now, with Pima County Sheriff's deputies and Arizona DPS on the scene investigating. We're told that they were first called to the area about a fiery crash with several injuries, and officials have confirmed that 5 people have died. Ajo Highway is completely shut down in the area of San Joaquin Road in Tucson. We'll keep you updated as we learn more details.
In Yavapai County, law enforcement officials say there have been arrests because of a train heist. The county sheriff's office says around midnight, 2 people were burglarizing a BNSF train near Seligman. When a deputy arrived at the scene, the burglary was still in progress, I should say. That deputy followed that white box truck you see there and another vehicle as they tried to speed away, eventually arresting both drivers near Kingman. The sheriff's office is yet to release the names of those suspects.
Tomorrow marks just 2 weeks until Election Day, and both presidential campaigns are in their final sprint, and that includes making some additional stops right here in battleground state Arizona. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will be in Peoria tomorrow afternoon before heading off to Tucson for an event happening later that evening. Then on the other side of the race, former President Bill Clinton will be campaigning in Phoenix this Wednesday for Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris. Later on this week, President Joe Biden is set to host an official visit highlighting some tribal communities. The White House tells us that he'll arrive in Phoenix on Thursday evening, and then on Friday, the president is set to speak at the Gila River Indian community. And then within the last hour, 12 News also learned that Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz will be back in Arizona on Saturday. Although the specifics of his trip are still not known yet, it will be his second trip to the state just this month.
They should all get condos here. I mean, they're here constantly.
Well.
All right, if you're planning to vote early, there are some key deadlines coming up. You can request an early ballot until October 25th. That's Friday. And if you don't do it by then, you will have to vote in person on Election Day. If you do have an early ballot, you have to get it in the mail by October 29th. After that, you will have to take it physically to a drop box or a polling place. And early polling places are open now through Election Day on Tuesday, November 5th. You can also get ready for Election Day by having the 12 Plus app downloaded on your TV. 12 Plus, we are going to stream hours of live coverage, local and state races, plus the results and the impact they could have on your community right there on 12 Plus. Use your TV, search 12 Plus on Apple TV, Fire TV, or Roku.
New at 10, many people know the names of the 46 men who served as presidents of the United States. But what about the candidates who were almost elected to the Oval Office? Well, tonight, 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra takes us to a Phoenix neighborhood where a reminder of our country's unelected past is on display.
It's that time of year where election signs line the streets. This yard in Phoenix's Coronado neighborhood is loaded with them, yet all candidates except one aren't running for office in 2024.
All of these people existed, all of these people lost.
This is the Monument to the Unelected, an art installation by Nina Ketchadorian for the Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art. All 58 signs are currently on display in Carrie Tovar's front yard.
I love it because the artist has drawn what the United States looks like today, but this is not at all what the United States looked like during the time of Aaron Burr. It would have been just about right here.
Each contemporary sign features the losing presidential candidate from elections past, dating back to the beginning of our country's history.
Looking at, people like John Adams, is this a true representation of what his sign looked like?
Not at all. These are completely fabricated. All the slogans are made up by her. All the designs are made up by her.
Unlike typical election signs,
it's not meant to be political. It's very apolitical.
Tovar says this installation puts a whimsical spin on what could have been the American presidential lineage.
It's really a part of our American history, and it's something to be, I think it's something to be proud of. Like, these are all times that could have been tough or filled with turmoil, and yet it just shows that as a democracy, we just keep moving forward in a really wonderful way.
The installation pops up every election cycle, and thousands of people have visited since it started on a Valley Street corner in 2008.
I think it will keep growing every election cycle, hopefully.
In Phoenix, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
Let's move now to an update on a case that we brought you that has sparked intense scrutiny on the national level. The arrest of a deaf man with cerebral palsy by Phoenix police, with them using a stun gun and then punching him multiple times. Tonight, Phoenix police have confirmed that 2 officers involved in this have been placed on paid leave. The whole thing was caught on body camera and surveillance video. The officers say Tyron McAlpin never told them he was deaf, and he ignored directions to stop. He was facing several felony charges after this incident, but after review, the county attorney's office dismissed those charges. So we'll keep you updated on this investigation as it moves forward.